this episode of Stadium Center, the final two entries into the Creator Showdown, a featured creator who keeps it old school, and stadiums that'll inspire you to head directly to the vault. All that and more on this episode of Stadium Center. Hey guys, and welcome to Stadium Center. I'm your host, Sewell21, and there's nothing new to report on this week, so we're just going to jump right into our Stadium Creator Showdown. Alright guys, today we're looking at parks from the knuckleheads who accidentally submitted their entries into the wrong form. I'm actually glad this happened though, as now I've changed the submission style into one form where you'll be choosing either stadiums that inspire or the showdown for your entry. So without further ado, let's jump into the first entry called Reeser Avenue Park by Scotty Warren. Scotty has done an awesome job blending his park into a city, and I'm really digging the custom bleachers and the concourse. He's done a great job mixing in scoreboards and concession stands throughout the park, and has included a plaza in the right corner, including a fountain and picnic area. Over in center, there's an entrance behind the batter's eye, and dropping it below street level is a very cool idea which he pulled off really well. He really nailed the even spacing on the stairs too. This park looks great lit up at night, and I love the custom town and skyline beyond the outfield. He also did an awesome job behind home plate. This is a really beautiful ballpark. Great job on this one, Scotty. Now let's move on to our final showdown entry. Finishing up the showdown is Park and Home Run Bay by Bo Tiger. Bo has come up with a really cool concept of a park on a pier, and he's given his park a really cool look with a lot of fun features. In left, he's placed a wall of windows with a huge balcony on top to watch the game from, and attached it to a hotel with a marina. The stands in center actually come down from a huge elevated pier, which also hosts the scoreboard for the park and a few concessions to grab a bite to eat from. Right field is very reminiscent of San Francisco and McCovey Cove, as the blast from lefties will net you a splash landing under another elevated pier with a restaurant and lighthouse. Hope you brought your canoe. Flip the lights on and you get a great looking park next to the ocean, and the lighthouse in the distance adds a lot of character to this park. That's it for the Knucklehead division. I'm glad I caught these great looking parks so I could get them into the showdown, and hopefully by fixing the form I won't miss any future entries. Be sure to head on over to the community page to vote for which of these two parks is your favorite, but good luck with that decision. Voting is live now, so be sure to get your votes in over on the community page, and be sure to vote for all three divisions if you haven't voted for the first two already. We're going to leave voting open until about October 26th, and then we're going to move on to the final round. But for now, let's show some love to a new creator in this week's Featured Creator. Alright guys, this week's featured creator is none other than Archmage Chemish, or Arch for short. This guy is an absolute mastermind when it comes to recreations and old school ballparks. If you've been subbed to this channel for a little while, then you've definitely seen a bunch of his awesome creations and recreations. He mostly builds stadiums for ATG, which is an online community dedicated to turning MLB The Show into some of the greatest eras of baseball. They fully recreate rosters and stadiums for download, so you can take a trip to the past and experience the show from your favorite time in history, and Arch has been their secret weapon in the stadium creation process. You don't have to take my word for it though, just check out these awesome recreations he's made. If you're interested in joining or contributing to the ATG community, I've linked an invite to their Discord in the description, or else you can find them on Twitter at ATG_baseball. Arch's accuracy is unmatched thanks to his extensive research and reference photos he uses to make sure every tiny detail is in just the right place. He'll often post pictures side by side in the Discord of the real thing and his recreation, and most of the time it's pretty hard to tell the difference or which one is the picture and which one is from the game. He'll also take stadiums such as Wrigley Field and have multiple versions of them as they progress through time. So, if you're looking for a field from a specific time frame, chances are you'll find it in Arch's vault. I can't thank Arch enough for being such an awesome member of Stadium Center, ATG, and the stadium creator community as a whole. This guy is an absolute legend, so be sure to check him out next time you're in the market for an old school stadium or a recreation. That's going to wrap it up for this week's featured creator. Now let's head back to the studio. Hey guys, if you're enjoying the show and you want to help support the channel, you can check out the Stadium Center merch store listed in the link below. You can get cool gear like this hat or Stadiums That Inspire t-shirt. And right now, if you use code PREMIER, you'll get 20% off your entire order. Now, if you guys didn't know, I do like to live stream from time to time and build my own stadiums. So we're going to check out the stuff I created this last week in the YouTube Stadium Creator Series. We did a ton of live streaming last week as we were on almost every day, and we got a couple cool parks put together. The first we're going to take a look at is Tombstone Park, which, if you remember, we had started a while ago, but I accidentally deleted it, so we started over. I saved some of the ideas that the guys had from the Lost build when we were working on it, including the name, which was thought up by Mark Stevens, so let's take a look at this park. I also want to thank everyone who's been hanging out on the streams. It's been a lot of fun. First off, Sandman Dan thought it would be a cool idea to be able to arrive by ferry, and Carmen's dad said it should double as a train station as well. You can take the bridge from the station over the tracks to the upper concourse, which is connected to the rest of the stadium. From there, you can head over to the left field bleachers, enjoying a great view of the walking bridge over the river beyond center field. You'll also get a great view of the park below and the skyline in the distance. Left field has a few nods to fill at Studio 44, Stadium Center, and of course Jackie Robinson. The top level has a small plaza to grab a drink at, and behind the stadium is an industrial shipyard on the river where Phil ships his barrels to all the parks in Major League Baseball, containing the exclusive secret mud rubbed on all big league baseballs. I really enjoyed building this park with just the idea of an old shipyard on the river and hanging out with everyone in the chat that dropped by. I will definitely have to keep streaming more often, but I still have to find time to edit these videos. While I do enjoy building these smaller stadiums, I thought it was time again to try my hand at a more complex, larger stadium with modern features. So the next park we built this week, and actually just finished up last night, is dedicated to another baseball legend that has sadly passed recently. We're going to take a look at that park right now. This stadium might just be one of the better parks I've built, and I'm glad it turned out so well since this park is named Pete Rose Memorial Stadium. This park started off with just one idea, the color red. I don't see very many parks that use this color scheme, and I can't believe how much detail we managed to fit in this park. Let's jump in. Left field is probably the most detailed I think I've ever gotten. It has maintenance bays, custom ball pins, a 2-level plaza with a food court and kids zone, and the list keeps going on. Now that I have even more of an idea on how to save memory as I go from doing this build, I think I can really step my game up in future parks to include even more detail. At the end though, we did scramble to finish this thing up as we forgot to put the lights in and had to delete a few things. Right field took a bit of time to figure out, but with a lot of help and ideas from Carmen's dad and Merv075, we really pulled this thing together. They really helped with the buildings on the top and figure out the wall textures along with the center field standing room sections. I had the idea to put a club inside the wall for a cool place to hang out during the game, and I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out. I've named it Club 14 in honor of Pete Rose and the number that he wore throughout his career. There's a couple bars on the sides of the club and a ton of seating with views of the game and TV so you can watch the broadcast as well as check out replays during those challenged calls. Would you watch a game here? Look out, Phil, as I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think I might just have my entry for your Stadium of the Year contest, and if you're not sure what that is, be sure to check out Phil's channel at Studio 44 on YouTube. Thanks again guys for hanging out on stream and helping me with the builds. Now, let's send it back to the studio for our next segment. Now, while I really enjoy hanging out with you guys in the chat and building stadiums and getting lots of great suggestions from you guys, my favorite part has got to be checking out stadiums that you create, and that's what our next segment is all about, and I'm sure it's what you're all here for. Alright guys, I hope you like the new intro to Stadiums That Inspire. Let me know what you think in the comments, and let's get into our first stadium, which is Riverside Yards by Bow Tiger. Located in Anywhere, USA, this park holds just 19,000 fans and has a max altitude for launching home runs. This park reminds me a bit of Brickside Gardens, but with a huge update to the look. The right field area looks amazing as we can get a peek at the river through the arches below the scoreboard, and it also has a small covered section of bleachers to escape from the sun. Left field has an info booth and an ivy wall above the bleacher seating. There's also an out-of-town scoreboard and a walkway that leads to center field where we get an awesome view of the bridge above the bay and a restaurant if you get hungry. We also see some more ivy growing up those brick walls. Taking a peek at night, in this stadium has all the lighting you'll need for night games, along with some awesome views of the city in the backdrop. Great job on this one, Bow Tiger, and on your template showdown entry in the contest. Our second park is by newcomer Mets 1982 and is named Piazza Field. He said that as a Mets fan, it's only right that he build something dedicated to his favorite team. Located in Long Island City, New York, this massive stadium holds 48,000 fans and sits at just 43 feet. Kicking things off in left field, we get great views of the city and a 3-layered bleacher section in front of the steakhouse. The right field corner has a Creole dugout and garden, but the real star is the down-the-line bar and wine restaurant, complete with a grass yard area and high-top standing tables to enjoy the game from while you sip on your drinks. Over in center, we get a huge plaza with covered seating behind the batter's eye, and that leads out to the rest of the city where we can see a train station and football stadium in front of the bridge over the river. Mets 1982 really did a great job on this dedication park and really did his team proud with this one. I can't wait to see his other parks, and I wish him and his team well in the playoffs this year. Next on the list is Keystone Park by Red Wings 4040, and it's their first submission so far. This park is up in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, and holds just over 29,000 fans. With an elevation of 770, you'll get some carry to the ball, but nothing crazy. The left field corner has a maintenance storage area, and the oversized wall has windows at the bottom to watch the game from the plaza behind it. In that plaza, you'll find some convenient seating to eat your snacks you can grab from the nearby vendors or get some gear at the nearby team store. Right field has a nice waterfall below a section of suites and a balcony overhanging a lush grove in front of the field. In center, they've used the Zen waterfall as a nice backdrop and surrounded it with a great arrangement of trees that vary in color to really make the view from behind home pop. This park looks great at night, and the way the scoreboard breaks up the outfield seating is a great way to mix things up. Red Wings did a really nice job on this one, and it's got a great summer feel to it, and I really enjoyed cruising around and finding small little details in this one. Let's take one more look from the top and enjoy that city view in the background. This next part comes just from someone who has been killing it lately with their stadiums. This is Sluggish Moth with New Era Park, and it's his first ever attempt at a stadium in MLB 24. It's really hard to believe it's a first attempt because it's just that good. Located in Buffalo, New York, with a capacity of 44,000, you'd swear this was built by a seasoned veteran. Left field has a canoe in the fountain and some great architecture separating the decks. Over and right, they've made some awesome rooftop seating behind the bleachers, but the main attraction is the New Era 5950 Club. It's located underneath the right field stands, and he's even built the concourse leading down to the entrance. When you enter in through the doors, you'll find some concessions and seating next to a giant fountain that offers great views from field level. This is a very cool idea, and I could have never thought of something like that when I first started playing. I've seen a few of Sluggish Moth's other stadiums, and they're all fantastic. You'll definitely be seeing a lot more of him in both Stadiums That Inspire and in the Stadium Creator Showdowns. Great work on this one, Sluggish Moth, and I appreciate you stopping by all the live streams and giving a lot of helpful suggestions when I'm stuck in my builds. I know I have a few more of your stadiums on my list to check out, and I can't wait to get started. Next up, we're heading to Oklahoma City for OKL Field by newcomer Tommy 20701. He also has a stadium in the template showdown, and last I checked, I think he was winning by around 8% of the vote, so that division is gonna be a close one. For now, let's check out this stadium that he asked me to look at during a live stream. I thought it was pretty cool, so I figured I'd add it to this episode. He's got some great, unique things going on behind home plate, and over in left field, we can send some moonshots over the stands and into the river. There's also a great looking city just on the other side. I like how he's changed the color of the outfield wall in right field and called it the Red Monster. There's also an awesome 3-level structure, and on the first floor, we can see a private club with a bar to watch the game from. Nighttime looks great here, and everything is lit up very well. Hopefully SDS will eventually add some lighting to the older buildings so all of our skylines can be lit up at night. Great job on this one, Tommy, and good luck in the showdown. Next on our list is another user that's been sitting on my list for far too long. This is Rolex Park and Casino by Stretchy C. We are off to Parker, Colorado for this build that holds a whopping 52,000 fans and has an elevation of 3,001. They've made great use of buildings for their concourse and they handled the corner really nicely. Left field is all about luxury with suites and cabana seating, and I'd expect nothing less from a park sponsored by Rolex. Right field has a lot of things going on, but not in a bad way. Everything fits together really nicely and they've mixed the buildings cohesively for a really nice look. There's a brew house, plenty of decks to sit and catch the game from, and even a sports book to place your bets on the game. They've saved enough memory to be able to place a ton of standing room fans to make their park look very busy, and that's something I know I really need to work on. I love the nighttime views of this park, and I should also note that Oak and Brick Park from the last episode was his on Inside the Vault. This park has inspired me to try and think of some cool ideas for a park located in Monaco, and I can't wait to get started on that build. Thanks for the submission, Stretchy C. Now let's head out to Tennessee for Murfreesboro Burroughs by Young Gun 1417. Located just outside of Nashville, Young Gun says this park is created for his fictional minor league team in his hometown. It holds around 10,000 fans and sits at 454 feet. Over in right field, there's a custom structure featuring suites below a restaurant, a scoreboard, and a tower with balconies to watch the game from. Left field is a kid's paradise with a full-on mini amusement park featuring batting cages, a wiffle ball field with its own scoreboard, a playground for the younger kids, and even a mini golf course for people of all ages to enjoy. This is definitely where you'd find me hanging out. Down each of the foul lines, you'll find bullpens behind the dugouts and large rooftop decks with concession stands for a really fun and unique way to catch the game from. Young Gun did an absolutely fantastic job on this stadium for his custom minor league team. It has such a fun atmosphere and would be a great place to take the whole family for a fun night out at the ballpark. You guys know I'm partial to smaller park builds, and this is a great example why. Don't get me wrong, I love the big stadiums too, but you can create such a different atmosphere with these kind of builds, which Young Gun has nailed. Great job on this one. Next up, we have another newcomer to Stadium Center with Optimus Park by TMX 2Fat35. He says he was inspired to make this modern stadium from one of his favorite movies, The Taking of Pelham 123 from 1974. Right field has a nice looking plaza with a few bars next to the falls, and the Gemini bar sits atop the upper concourse, and using that prop for a roof is awesome. Over and left, we get a similar style plaza, but this time it includes the bullpens for both teams' pitchers to warm up before entering the game. Up top, we get another futuristic tavern, this one called the Apollo Bar, and we get a look at that excellent skyline in the backdrop, and it all comes together in center with a great looking scoreboard with additional advertising added in. And I really like the balanced mix of blue and green throughout this view. This is another great looking park at night, and everything is lit up to perfection. I like that they went with a futuristic theme, but they didn't go over the top and excessive with the props, and it kept it looking like a realistic stadium. I've got one more from Team X in the queue, and I can't wait to check that one out. Next up, we have a stadium from not only a member of the Discord, but our latest mod. This is Poracle Park by Pfizer VV. Pfizer came up with the concept of using elements from two stadiums, PNC and Oracle, and mashing them up into one stadium. I like that idea so much, it might just become a future showdown challenge. What do you guys think of that idea? He used the garage door trick in the corner, which is a go-to for me, in a few custom sections as well. Above, we see the PNC ramp next to the scoreboard, and he's even included a Stadium Center logo for me in his build as well. I'm always flattered to see you guys include me in your builds. In right field, we get a really good look at the mashup where we can see the bridge from Pittsburgh and the small bleachers section from San Francisco where players can hit a ball over the fans and into the cove. He's also included Triples Alley from Oracle as well. At night, we get a look at that beautiful skyline and the stadium as a whole. Again, I love the concept of a stadium mashup, and he not only had a great idea, but also completed the concept in a way where you can see the elements very clearly from both stadiums. Great work again, Pfizer, and thanks again for making our Discord server that much better. Next on the list, we have another first timer on the channel. This is Pickle Barrel Portland by Shays 2525. Shays has included some awesome features in this 28,000 capacity stadium sitting at just 50 feet above sea level, so let's jump in and take a look. First off, in left field, he's built a custom concourse with concessions below a deck that hosts a pair of restaurants overlooking the river. In right field, he's used the wood pieces to build another custom building with concessions and suites in those windows, along with some more suites tucked into the outfield wall. My favorite part of the park, though, has got to be this nature walk area that he's included in left center that wraps all the way around the batter's eye and connects both sides of the stadium. Now, while I've never been to Portland, I know they've been trying to get a team there for quite a few years, and this stadium really gives off that feel of being in the upper northwest part of the country. Awesome job on this one, Shays, and I think I'm going to have to try and build my own nature walk in a future build. We've got one more stadium to look at, and I think we're going to try something a bit new here. So I had the idea to save my favorite stadium for last in future episodes and call it Stadium of the Week. This week we have Golden Gate Gala V2.0 by RC4625. We checked out this stadium in a live stream and I was just in awe of how much they managed to fit into this park. There were a few close contenders for Stadium of the Week, but ultimately I landed on this one after exploring the finalist parks for a little while. Right field looks really great with the custom bullpens and some really cool staircasing that leads up to a nod to Phil with Club 44. There's also rooftop seating which is situated just below that scoreboard. Over in center, he's got the Twins batter's eye used as a party deck, and down below the kids can get some swings in on the wiffle ball field. Let's hope they don't hit them too far. Left field has one of the best concourses I've ever seen. It's jam-packed with water features, party decks and balconies, and a spiral staircase with a bunch of vendors and concession stands, and it all comes together for an amazing view from the field. It's this area that made it my pick for Stadium of the Week. I really loved checking out this field and picking apart certain parts of it to see what props they used, and how they fit all of this into 99% memory is a feat itself. The nods to Studio 44 and Stadium Center were cool touches, and I'm always flattered when you guys include myself and Phil in your builds. That's gonna be a wrap, so now let's head on over to the top 5 countdown. Starting at number 5 is the Down the Line Bar and Wine by Mets 1982 in Piazza Field, where you can enjoy your favorite beverage with a great view of the entire ballpark and possibly snag a fall ball souvenir. Coming in at number 4 is the 5950 Club from New Era Ballpark version 2.0 by Sluggish Moth 953. In this club, you can enjoy some food and drinks at a fountainside table with a great field level view from right field. At number 3, it's the Kids Zone from Murfreesboro Boros by Young Gun 1417. With everything from mini golf and batting cages to wiffle ball and concession stands, there's something for everyone tucked in this corner of the field. At number 2, it's the Rolex Sportsbook Plaza from the Rolex Park and Casino by Stretchy C. This complex plaza has countless levels to watch the game from as you watch to see if your bets pan out, and a brew house to drink your sorrows away if they don't. Yeah. And at number 1, it's the entire left field concourse by RC4625 from Golden Gate Gala V2.0. This concourse has a little bit of everything from a Hall of Fame, waterfalls, team stores, and even a rooftop restaurant. Alright guys, that is gonna be a wrap on this episode of Stadium Center. Thank you again so much for tuning in. It really does mean a lot to me. Be sure to get over to that community page and get your votes in. And until the next episode, take care, and I hope to see you in the next one.